Okay. I don't really know where to start with this one. Um, so I guess I'll start with a little bit of an explanation of what the movie's about. It's written and directed by Greta Gerwig and stars Saoirse Ronan in the as the title character, Christine McPherson, who has given herself the name of Lady Bird, at least in the beginning of the film.
Lady Bird, is that your given name?
Yeah.
Why is it in quotes?
I gave it to myself. It's given to me by me.
And it tells her story as she's growing up in Sacramento in 2002, uh, in a Catholic school, and as she's graduating and moving on to the next phase in her life. And it's an independent film, Studio A24, which has done some very, very good things recently. Probably be considered an artsy film. I don't know uh, what that necessarily means, but it's not something that I'm generally super interested in. I'm always more of a big blockbuster guy, and I love the summer movies much more than the award season movies. Even though I always try and go see as many as I can, just because it's good to kind of have that reference point and to know what's going on. But I'd heard a lot of good things about this one and seen some things that might get some Oscar buzz, so I decided to go check it out. And it's a dramedy and obviously a coming of age story as well. And as someone who's in their second year of college right now, I could definitely relate to a handful of the things she was going through as far as moving on from high school into college. And I found a lot of the jokes related to that funny, and a lot of the situations in I uh, the more dramatic situations I recognized and felt for those.
I hate California. I want to go to the East Coast. I want to go where culture is, like
How
New
in the world
York,
did I raise such a
or at least
snob?
Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the
Get into
woods.
those schools anyway.
Mom,
You should just go to city college. You know, with your work ethic, just go to city college and then to jail and then back to city college, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
There's a lot of humor that revolves around kind of her coming into herself as a person, and first kind of boyfriends and having sex for the first time, and and things like that are big themes in the film, and kind of the romance aspect in general.
when is a normal time to have sex?
You're having sex?
And then the biggest part is her relationship with her family, which I thought was done incredibly well, and it really drew me in. And if the mom does not get some, I really hope the mom gets like an Oscar push, because she uh I wouldn't say my favorite character in the film, but definitely the one that um was it was just really interesting.
Tired, we can sit down.
I'm not
You
tired.
were dragging your feet.
You are so infuriating.
Please stop yelling.
I'm not yelling. Oh, it's
Do
perfect.
you love it?
So there's a lot of dialogue in this film. There a lot of talking. No, there's aren't really too many big events that happen, and so you got to be in the mood for that if you want to go see this movie. And it bothered me a little bit, being honest. The movie's only an hour and a half long, but there were a few parts where I was kind of sitting there, just kind of like, okay, like I think I kind of get where this was going, but the characters just kept me going through it, because I thought that it was written really well, and I just became so invested in Lady Bird, and seeing like the big life moments that she was going through made me really feel like I knew her as a person. And even through the fact that I was bored sometimes, and there were plenty of jokes that I didn't find super funny, even though there were a lot of jokes that I thought were really good. There was she gets into high school theater at one point, which I did, and there was a lot of things I was like, that's hitting close to home there. And then there was a moment with the football coach, which was one of my favorite moments as well, because that scene kind of combined two of my biggest moments in life in high school, and uh, the characters pulled me through the whole thing, and then the end. I mean, I'm making this review 2 3 days after I watched the movie, and I'm still thinking about kind of how the ending affected me, and I think that if I'm still thinking about it, it's obvious that to me that I think the movie did something right, regardless of necessarily how I was feeling during some of the middle parts of the movie. And so overall, I've heard a lot of big buzz about this film. Uh, these types of films generally aren't for me, and maybe there's something that I'm missing about this film because, admittedly, I'm working on it, but I'm not the most knowledgeable film mind in how to study things. But going off of what I saw and how I felt, I thought that the jokes were good, but I didn't think it was laugh out loud hilarious all the time. But the characters I found really interesting, and it kept me going. And it's the type of movie that I'm still thinking about. And so, I really, just for that, I have to give it just above solid rating for this one. And I know this is a pretty short review, which I kind of feel bad about because I feel like I'm not going as in depth as I do into like Thor. But like, those are the type of movies that I feel like I know more because I watch them more. So hopefully, as I get into more of these reviews, I'll be able to go look a little bit deeper into films like this and be able to analyze it a little more. But thanks for watching. If if you made it this far, like, subscribe, comment what you thought on the movie. If you think there's anything I might have missed, or any way to improve my reviews, I'm always open for that. And hey, I'll see you next time. Justice League's out next week, so I'm probably gonna have a review for that one.